What is up, guys? We have a game of Gorgon, and it looks like we're up against a gold player here. So this should be a pretty difficult game. I keep getting really good opponents, so I have to play my best character. So we've got a silver master of gold in this game as well, and then the rest are, or we got silver expert as well. So only one silver skilled in this game. This is one of the higher skilled teams that I've been up against. I've been up against a full gold at one point, and they crushed me pretty hard. So we'll see if I can do a bit better against this one. I think I'm capable of beating gold teams, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm not sure if my Gorgon can do it. I think I might have to get better at a different monster to be a bit more competitive, but I feel like I'm decent at Gorgon. I've improved a lot, I know that much. When I first started playing Gorgon, I had a losing win rate, and from there, playing pretty much just Gorgon, I've gotten my win rate with monster up around 70%. So I'm going to use my same path that I normally do when I use feeding speed. I think Gorgon's pretty good at killing these Reavers as well. Sometimes I skip them if I don't have like Flame Breath or some AoE available, depending on who I play. I used to play Goliath a lot on this map because, I don't know, something just worked with his feed speed. I could get evolved before a team could catch up to me that didn't have Sunny. Once Sunny came out, I kind of stopped doing it as much because it's hard to be sure. There's no way to be sure if Sunny's going to be on their team or not. I eat these three. And if I had feed speed, I'd kill a couple Striders and evolve right around this area. But since I don't, I'm going to continue through. And see, they might be cutting right now. If they are, then they're off to my left. If the Trapper's cutting, he should be relatively close. Yep, there he is. So he did cut. I'm going to have to double back. And then if they're playing properly, I'm going to see Assault and probably Medic. But they could be doing a 3-1 split. Assault should be right down here a little bit. And I think I saw him. Yep, there he is. So I just want to put a little bit of pressure on him because they're doing a 3-1 split. I know that because I don't see Medic or Support. Normally it would be Medic. So the weakness in the 3-1 split... Ooh, they actually got that dome. That's bad for me. I'm half armor. I need to do a lot of mitigating here. As I was saying though, the downside to 3-1 splits is that the Assault is kind of exposed. You know, he's got the personal shield, and the idea behind the 3-1 split is that your team can catch up and help the Assault before he dies, before the personal shield goes away. And then there's the added strength where once you get the dome, it's easier for the Trapper to stay alive in the early stages. So this isn't a bad dome for me. There's a lot of little nooks that I can kind of hide in. I shouldn't take a whole lot of damage here. But I am not evolve ready. And I really can't even try to fight because I came into this fight with half of my armor pool. Came into this dome with half of my armor pool. They do have Tech Sergeant Hank instead of normal Hank. Doesn't change the way that I play that much. I think just dealing with Tech Sergeant Hank, you just treat him like a normal Hank. You don't try to do anything fancy. The only thing different is that stupid orbital is really, really strong. Because it doesn't knock hunters away, I believe. I haven't actually played with Tech Sergeant Hank enough to know, but from my experience as monster, it seems like the hunters can kind of just sit under it, and there's not really much that the monster can do outside of just like launching range abilities on them, but he can't use his melee attacks, which is a lot of the damage that I get with Gorgon. Is basically like my whole idea behind the damage with Gorgon is hitting them with web, putting down the acid pool under their feet, and then using my melee attacks to knock them back into the acid and keep them in for as long as possible. And that seems to work really well for me. Spider traps I don't use as my main source of damage, they're just an added bonus if they catch someone. And it's something that I need to get a bit better at, actually using those. So I'm going to do a little bit of an aggressive evolve. They might have their dome up. My thought process here is that the Trapper won't commit too hard. Because that's what I would do. Plus, it's a really good spot to evolve right in there. So it looks like he committed after I... ooh, they even threw the dome. So they really wanted that dome, but... I think I was kind of right. Either they were farther away than I initially suspected, or I was right in that Trapper kind of cut to the middle of the map like you do on Armory, if you're a good Trapper. And wait for the monster to pass through the middle, so I just took that opportunity. Now, Hank being this far out, this is why you don't really have Hank doing the split. Unfortunately, I don't really know where he went. I know they don't have Dome up quite yet. I might not get a whole lot done with this, but if I can get someone... Alright, I don't think I got anybody down there, but... I already made it so that they went from a 3-1 split to a 2-2 split. It wasn't quite the right people doing the 2-2 split, but I can't really punish it that hard. Once in a while when you go on Hank and you can get him down quickly like I did there, you'll get a down penalty out of it. The risk is that you get domed while you're doing that, and like the assault will already have chipped you down to like half health when you do get domed, because the Trapper will catch up and it'll take a couple seconds for him to catch up, and then you're kind of stuck in a weird place. It's the only downside to trying to take that opportunity, but I knew they didn't have dome, so there was no risk for me to do that. So I'm already evolved ready, which is very good. That almost makes me think that I did get the down on Hank, but I can't really be sure. I don't think I did. So I'm going to do another aggressive stage up here. They do have dome available now, but I think that I have enough distance that I can at least eat this armor before they catch up to me. And this right here is basically the same amount of armor I'd have at stage 1 if I took a dome, so... I'm guessing they're waiting at relay now. So far this game is going really well, actually. They did a really good job with that first dome, but I had enough space inside of it to mitigate all the damage. I haven't taken any health damage yet. And then I just did some really aggressive evolving on my part. I'm actually playing riskier than I usually would like to play. I'm gonna check this Tyrant. Looks like it is not buffed. Not that I need it, but it'd be nice to know. The only problem is I probably don't have strikes. I might have one on support. But if I don't have strikes, Gorgon is not the best at breaking into relay fights. Usually I like to go into relay fights with a couple of strikes on my opponent, even if I have to spend some health to get it. Just because she's not very amazing at actually breaking into it. Alright, so it looks like they're probably set up on the buildings on the opposite side of the relay, where I'm looking right now. Trying to get a kind of a sight line to see where exactly they're set up, but yeah, that's where they're at. That's where they're at. That's a good spot to fight. For them, anyway. So, the one thing that I do like about going up against Tech Sergeant Hank is I can figure out who doesn't have armor, or who doesn't have a shield, and just go after that person. I took that Nomad hit. I might actually just leave and re-armor up. I don't want to take a bad fight. I do want to take a fight before my CDR goes away, but I'll get at least one fight out of it. Alright, that's better. Well, Hank's up on that building. Nice, I hit him with that. They have Mega Mouth, which is good for them. It's probably actually a better buff than I have, so I have to be careful. They should have threw the dome. Oh, they did, okay. So I did get the strike on Hank. I don't know if I mentioned that already. which that's going to make it a lot easier to break into this relay. You just need 1 or 2 strikes on priority targets and you can do okay. I need this. They're not doing a great job of dealing damage to me. Like, this is a pretty good dome for them. There's not a lot of room that I can use to maneuver. A little bit of a sneak attack. Alright, I made it out. I took a little bit of health damage from Crow, but that's it. I need 1 solid fight and I can win the game. I just need to kill Hank before I take too much damage. Like, I can take my entire armor bar just to fully kill Hank, and then I would be fine. I'm okay with spending that, but if I don't even get the down penalty before, like, get the down on him before I lose all my armor, I'm not super confident in that specific fight. Alright, so they still have Mega Mouth, and I don't have my buff anymore. Hank's kind of exposed, so I'm not sure why he wasn't up top. I guess he wants to ring around the rosy. Alright, so he wasted his cloak. I can just go back and armor up really quick. And he will most likely have his cloak. Actually, because of Mega Mouth, he probably still has his cloak off on cooldown or off cooldown, whatever. He still has it available to him, probably. But their Mega Mouth buff is gone now. Oh my god, that stupid orbital. Taking more damage than I'd like to for this down penalty. I know they're both right in this area. I don't know where Hank went, but I'll deal some damage to Kyra. Alright, found Hank. If you just go after the medic, especially if it's Kyra, she has to heal herself or die. So as soon as Hank goes invisible and tries to run away, you can make sure that he doesn't get fully topped off by doing that. It doesn't always work, because sometimes the heal bursts will get him up enough, but Kyra's being very aggressive with these heals. If I can down her near Hank and stop them both from... Yeah, this should be game. I should be able to capitalize on this. We're able to get Kyra back up again, but that's okay. I got Corvold down in the process. As long as I can keep 2 of them down at a time, it's fine. Looks like they're going to try to split maybe and go for... another dropship. Or I guess the first dropship. They might get it, probably not though. They did split off in different directions. I know where Kyra went, which is down in here. I'm not sure where Crow is. He ran off to the side. He might loop back around. The best place to be for a hunter on this map to get you off the relay is up where they were on those buildings. So he might loop all the way back around and go back up onto those buildings. I think that's what I would do. But he might also have went down towards Kyra as well, I'm not sure. Most likely they split off. He might also just have ran off into a corner and might not make it back. Yeah, he's back on those buildings. How much time do I have? 47 seconds. I should be able to get this. They did a pretty significant amount of damage to me in that one fight, but it was just about taking the correct fight. Yeah, I got it. Alright. Nice. That was a good game. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.